Please welcome Rosalyn Kahn.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today it is my distinguished and fine honor to introduce you to a good friend of mine who comes from the same generation as my good friend Daniel Tyler Ponke. We met at the same time. This man has been one of the most major influences in my life. And if you don't know the man Lee Pound, let me just give you a little two bits of who he is. Lee Pound is both a writer and he also coaches people on the skills of writing. What makes him different than all the rest of the writing coaches out there is he's been an editor. He has a key eye to detail, can find those little things that no one else can find. But what makes him a master of his trade is he worked with a gentleman by the name of Saul Stein. Saul Stein was a leader in the world of publishing, and to have that training, it is nothing like you will find in anyone else. He's worked with over 50 writers and helped them get their books, but you must meet the fine, the distinguished Mr. Lee Pound. Say hello to the audience, Lee.
Oh, hello, everybody. It's a real pleasure to be here, and thank you for having me on, Rosalyn. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much. You've done so much in my life. You've been the chief editor of all three books of mine, and you were so excited to hear when one of the books I'd done on the outside became a national bestseller. You were just screaming in your chair, saying, I knew you could do it, Rosalind. I knew you could do it. So let me ask you a few questions
Absolutely.
here. How can an
Okay.
editor and coach help write a book? How can they help a person write a book?
Well, here's the first problem. Most people have no clue how to do it. They think, okay, I'm just going to write and write and write on a piece of paper, and I'm going to have a book out of it. Problem is, they don't realize they have to actually organize the thing. They actually have to think about what they're going to write about before they do anything. And when they do that, suddenly the book starts to appear. But you have to have somebody who knows what they're doing, who knows what they're talking about, to guide you through the process. Because otherwise, it's just a bunch of garbage when you get finished. So that's one of the key elements of having a coach and an editor. Plus, the editor knows how to put the book into shape, how to make it look good, how to make it read well, how to get rid of all the little errors that everybody puts into their writing. And there are huge numbers of them. We can talk about some of those later if you want to. But one of the key elements is most people don't know how to write for publishing. They don't know how to write to influence. They don't know how to write to get a person or a reader to read their material. They have no clue. And what I do is go through all of the things I've learned from masters like Saul Stein to the marketing masters as well that I know you and I have talked about, who know how to influence people, because you have to do both. You have to influence and you have to keep them reading and you have to get them to start in the first place. So there's all sorts of things that go into it, and most amateurs do not have the knowledge or the ability to come up with anything that would lead them that way. And coaching is the way to keep you reading, keep you writing. When you have a coach, you talk to them every week. You send them material. You have an active participation. If I just told somebody, go write a book and send me the result, and they haven't done it before, I could wait years. I could wait
Exactly.
decades. So that's
Right.
why you need a coach and an editor. You need somebody professional to work with you, and that's what I do.
Fantastic. Can I just upload my document and see what happens and what goes next?
You can upload it and see what happens. You won't like the result usually because there's specific formatting things that you have to do. And if you do them wrong, your book looks like garbage. And then any of the things that show up like on Amazon are not going to attract the reader. So you have to have somebody who's experienced in actually creating a file that will work with Amazon. And this is in both an electronic file and a Word file that goes into a print book. And those are not easy things to do because there's all sorts of technical things that you have to know and things that you have to do and sizes that you have to work through, all that kind of thing in order to make it work right. So one of the most important things I do with people is get their book looking good. Creating a cover is another problem. You have to have a good cover editor, good cover designer create the cover for you using good art good type styles, attractive materials. Just to put something up with the yellow background and straightforward type just doesn't do it anymore in today's book sales world. So those are all the key elements that you have to have in order to make it work. And I give you all of them because I've been the editor, I've been the designer, I've been the book publisher. I even have a workshop where I train people how to actually write the book, and we do it and do a first draft in 2 days. So this is what you have to do, guidance.
How long have you been creating books for people for?
Uh, the first book I created, I was like 20 years old. That was for me. But I've been creating books for people off and on for over 30 years now. I probably have dozens, if not 50 or 60 books, single books in my pile that I've done and created for people. So it's something that I enjoy doing. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of effort, and it takes time. But the result is amazing. And I know how to do it, and I know how to make it work. So my guess is somewhere in that several dozen books that I've actually created for people and put up and published, including some from some groups that I was in. There's all sorts of different ways that we did it. But yes, a lot of books.
I remember you told me one of those books actually became a bestseller, and it was for a professional organization. How is it different when you write for a group of people versus working for one individual person?
There's good points and there's bad points. The book that you're talking about is the Coaching for the 21st Century, which I wrote for Professional Coaches and Mentors Association. I didn't write it, I created the book. It was a collection of articles by something like 20 or 30 member coaches who were writing about all different topics. And of course, in all different styles and all different levels of ability. And it was a fun book to work on, though, because we put it together, and at the Professional Coaches and Mentors Association convention in 2002, it sold more books than any book they'd ever put up there. And it was an incredible volume, and I still have some copies hanging around. But I actually did, I think, 3 more group books through a writing group that I was part of. One was called Adapt, and one was called Adapt or Perish, and it was about how you, from the point of view of various life coaches and other kinds of coaches, how you can create the life that you want and succeed in a world that is constantly changing. I remember one of them, and who shall remain nameless. Most of them could write, but I really discovered what bad writing was about with this one person. And I had to spend hours literally fixing every word almost. But that's what you have to do when you're in this business. There's no other way to get around it. You either take on the job and do what you need to do, or let it go. And I am always interested in helping people look their best in their writing. And that is critical. And you may ask, you mentioned that I worked with Saul Stein. Most coaches and most editors out there do not have strict, deep professional training. They haven't learned from masters. And I learned what I know about editing from one of the great masters, who was Saul Stein, who was the owner of Stein and Day Publishers in New York. He published some of the largest mega bestsellers of the 20th century. He was a master writer himself. He had several bestsellers of novels that he wrote. And I learned the art of fiction writing, which is the art of drawing people in. It's the art of creating emotion. It's the art of building rapport. It's the art of drawing them through the book, which is what every author has to do, no matter whether they're writing a fiction or a nonfiction book. And I spent 4 years sitting in his living room in Southern California during summers he was out here, with a group of people, wrote 3 novels while I was working with him. It was incredible. And I take those skills and I use those to make the people that I work with the best writers I can.
Wow. Well, it seems as though I hear a buzzer ringing in the kitchen, and I've got to just stop and take a quick break now. So if you can hold on, we'll be right back.
Thank you for your interest in In-Flight USA and our newest publication, BizAvJets USA. We serve general and business aviation throughout the U.S. For more information on submitting articles or advertising in our publications, visit inflightUSA.com. Thank you.
My grandmother had Alzheimer's, and I remember we were all in the hospital room, and for like 10 seconds she recognized who we were, and then it was gone. So it's like a thief. It's taking away memories and who you are as a person. Over 5.5 million Americans have Alzheimer's. That number may double by 2050. For more information, visit rightfocus.org.
Welcome back again. Thank you so much. We are here with Mr. Lee Pound, who is an author, a writer, a coach to helping other people write their books. He just finished going and telling us about what it was like to be a ghostwriter and all the challenges that come in going to do that. We've got another few questions for him here. And I want to know, is there a process what's the difference between ghostwriting and someone writing a book for me? Are they the same things or are they different things?
A ghostwriter usually writes the book but does not get credit. Sometimes they do. One of the books I did, it has the name of the author, the main author, with and my name. And when you see that, you know there's been a ghostwriter. That's pretty normal. As far as what you would do, I think ghostwriting is a process that works for a lot of people and it doesn't work for some people. I much prefer to see people write their own stuff first and then fix it. That's kind of how I prefer to work. If you go too far into having somebody else do the job, you lose a lot of your voice and you lose a lot of your own individuality as the author. So I prefer to have the author do their material and then work on fixing it. But I can do the other two.
Perfect. So tell me, is there a process that you use to help a person write a book? What's the process they go through? I know that you do several workshops, and what do some of those workshops look like?
Well, this is the fascinating part. We do a writing workshop. I have a partner, and we've created a system whereby you can actually write a whole first draft. And I mean, not just a few pages, but like 50 or 60 pages in 2 days, which sounds almost impossible. We first started doing it in 4 days, but the whole process is you have to take people through step by step. You have to cure them of the fear of writing. The one person who took our course came in, he said, I hate to write. I can't do it. I don't know what I'm doing. He walked out with a first draft 2 days later. Because we draw them in and we give them a template and we give them the standards that they have to use. And here's the other kind of big secret. Most people think I need to write a book. So they sit down and they write for 8 hours. And then they go back and they tear it up and then they start again and then they do this and do that. And they end up with nothing. So what we do is say, okay, if if I told you to write for 2 hours, could you write for 2 hours? You'd probably lose it about 10 minutes in. So we just say, write for 5 minutes. But concentrate. That's all you're doing. Don't think about it. Don't do anything. Just write that particular piece for 5 minutes. We build a structure. We build a whole table of contents before they start writing. And then they write from the big picture down to the small picture, down to the paragraph level. And it's amazing what happens. Some wonderful books have come out of it. I have one client who's written 2 very good business books filled with great stories, did it in the workshop and did it using the workshop system. Nobody who has sat down and started a live workshop or a Zoom workshop has failed to write a first draft. And we've put dozens of people through the process. So we're right in the middle right now of redesigning how we're delivering it and adding a few things to the process and going out full force because it's been tested and it works. And it works with people who have no writing experience whatsoever. So that's how I work right now, mostly with people. The coaching process individually is a much more individualized process. And there's a lot more teaching and a lot more phone conversation. They can be an hour, hour and a half at a time, but it's a very expensive way to go because it's one-on-one. So I like to do that, but I prefer to put people through the workshop because I know it works and I know they can come out with it. We'll be announcing some changes and some new things that are going on at the OC Writers Workshop, and just watch for it because it's going to be exciting.
Now, I know amongst the things that you do of writing and coaching, you're also an author of yourself. And there's one book that you wrote that's near and dear to your soul. And can you share us a little bit about how that book came to be, about your beloved wife who's resting in heaven and looking at you and smiling right now?
Yes, that book is still working on. It's still working on it. But I went through this whole, medical process about 5 years ago. My wife got pancreatic cancer. And it took 2 years. She was around for 2 years. And the whole process of discovering it, of living it, and going through the whole steps leading up to her passing was incredible. But the most incredible part about it was something that it would take me a long time to explain, but I'll just be really brief. In her last week, when she went unconscious, I had one of her best friends with us, who was a person who could contact people who were either unconscious or sometimes deceased. And I know that sounds weird, but there's a lot out there involved with it. And we went through a process that to me was out of this world, and it literally was out of this world. Because I saw places I'd never seen before and saw examples and went places spiritually that I'd never seen before. And we had people come in who just, made an incredible difference. And I think in the process, we helped her overcome a lot of her anxieties about her parents and her mother, her bad upbringing, things of that sort, where she was able to really get back to understanding it, forgiving, moving forward. I would have to take a long time to tell the story. I've done speeches on it. There's actually a speech on YouTube. If you Google me and YouTube, you will find the whole talk I did, the whole story that I did on her last week, during which she was unconscious on the bed and doing all sorts of amazing things. And that book, it's taken me a while to write it because it's a very difficult book to write. But I am about 3/4 of the way through it. And that's the one I'm really proud of. That's the one that I think is going to make a difference in the world.
Well, Lee, thank you so much. It's been such a wealth of information you've shared with us on the process of writing a book, the process of other people helping them to write the book, the group process, the individual, the ghostwriting. I can't say how proud I am, but most of all, Lee, I want to say this: of all the people that I know in my life, you are truly the one person who's made the greatest influence and helped me out in so many ways. Lee, how is it that people can reach out, and how can they contact you if they want you to help them on their next book?
Well, there's two ways. I think email or a text is probably best. Lee@leepound.com. Very simple, LEE@LEEPOUND.com. Or they can text or call at 949-246-8580. And I will be happy to return the call and discuss whatever their situation is. So yes, I'm always willing to help other people take on other projects and all of that sort of thing.
Well, fantastic. Thank you so much, Lee. My name is Rosalyn Kahn. This is Rosalyn Kahn with Chow Entertainment, living your best life. You can follow me on all social media by the name of Rosalyn Kahn. Make sure you tune in to us every Tuesday, 11 to 11:30. Thank you so much, and gratitude beyond words.
Senior Care Authority is a one-stop solution for helping you locate senior living options.
We understand the care, the costs, and the safety records of hundreds of communities, from assisted living and memory care to independent living and even skilled nursing. We help families cut through the complexity to make courageous, informed decisions under difficult circumstances.
Hey, are you looking to get blinged out? Well, look no further. Boss Lady Bling Blingy have all the bling you need. You can find us online at Lady Blingy 4 on IG or Lady Blingy on Facebook or www.bossladyblingblingy here in sunny San Diego at 2031 Commercial Street, San Diego, California. Call us at 619-617-4586.
Biz Avjets USA magazine is a new publication to the business aviation industry. And business aviation is a growing and thriving industry. We plan to bring you all the latest trends and news. We also plan to bring you new information about new airframes, systems, and interiors to market. Feel free to visit bizavjetsusa.com.
Did you know the number one way to earn money is speaking? Everyone thinks public speaking is the worst. Some people are so scared they never even get started. Your story deserves to be shared. You can learn from top speakers. You need to join Standout Stars for their free Week of Kindness and Gratitude Summit. Learn how to get out of your comfort zone and grow to the next level. Develop new skills in business. Find out how experts get motivated to increase their workflow. Develop your writing skills. Find your passion and learn to share it with the world. Unlock secrets to improving the production of your podcast and increase lead generation. Learn how to improve your own personal health and wellness. This is a virtual event which runs January 16th through 21st. Sign up on our website at weekofkindness.com free. Be sure to visit weekofkindness.com. Sign up right now.
Over 40 years, Lighthouse Central Florida has provided education, independent life skills, and job training to thousands of Central Floridians who live with blindness or any degree of vision loss. Whether it's picking out clothes in the morning or just moving around your community and serving Orange, Seminole, and Osceola counties, contact Lighthouse Central Florida at 407-898-2483 or visit them online at lighthousecfl.org.
Hi, this is Rosalyn Kahn. We're here with Will Perfect at this wonderful place, the Kahn Bar, beautiful Lancaster, California.
Absolutely. What a great party for the Faces of Rap Mothers.
Oh my God, this is absolutely incredible. What do you think about all these concepts? I mean, I was looking at those people like, wow, I wish I could dress like that.
Yeah, a lot of good styles going on here. A lot of good music. There's live entertainment here. There's a party scene we just worked on and filmed with Walter Frank. Walter Frank is a very super established filmmaker. In fact, How the Grinch Stole Christmas is a Jim Carrey film. He was the director of that.
Wow. So can you tell me a little bit about their history and what they're all about?
Well, being the host of The Perfect Zone, I'd be doing disservice to myself if I didn't point out that the CEO of Faces of Rat Mother, Diana Boss, is on our show, and she's here.
Yeah, it's got this neat little place that we're in. You know, got just to check it out. It's really amazing to go ahead and show what we got here. We got a beautiful welcome sign. You can get haircuts for 25 cents. They got bar stools and everything like that. It's like a trip to the old back history.
It's pretty busy inside here. We just kind of snuck away for this interview. The music is quite loud, but it's good. You know, it's live entertainment. Expect live entertainment to be loud. And speaking of albums and loudness, I'm actually working on an album with Nick Kahn, who was on The Perfect Zone.
Right.
We're going to do a new album from 85, rename it Theater of Pain. And instead of spelling it with a four-letter word, we're going to put Nick's last name in there.
Oh, wow.
A-Y-N-E. And Stacy Floyd's working on it. He's the engineer. And Faces of Rat Mothers are going to be on there. I don't know, it's going to be a big mix of a lot of different kinds of music. It's going to be a concept album.
That sounds like it's going to be absolutely fantastic. I mean, I can hardly wait to see it go ahead and come out. I want to thank you so much for inviting me to take a couple minutes off to go ahead and talk to you. This is Rosalyn from Chow Entertainment, KXLA. Always coming out to exciting places to meet exciting people, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my friend Goodwill Burke.
And big shout to The Easy Way. Thank you, Eric Zuli. Thank you, Jason Spann, Matt J. Doyle, Kat Oshman, Empress Shore, and all the Faces of Rat Mothers, Walter Franks inside, and abundant more people that I could be naming all night. Thank you all.
Thank you all so much. It's been absolutely fantastic. Gratitude beyond words, and namaste.
Nurse Access Staffing is seeking experienced RN and LVNs. For more information, call us at 818-697-4484 or check us out on our website, nurseaccessstaffing.com.